would like to welcome Corporal Jelinski.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, would you want to give your report?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Jelinski. I'm a corporal with State Police out of Ridgeway. A few more people here than last time I came, so good to see everybody and take some questions in a little bit. But what I usually do with these things, I'll go over a list of incidents that we've had over the past couple of months in this area, and then anybody that has any questions, feel free to ask. So, over the last 3 months, we've had 2 911 hang-up calls up here. We had a false alarm. We had several calls that were canceled while we were on our way before we got here. We had 6 disabled vehicles in the area that we attended. We had a noise complaint. A big one here. We had several death investigations, and there might be some questions that we can field here in a moment. But we had a domestic disturbance. We had a incident of a drug overdose. That was one that didn't result in death. A couple incidents of harassment, which that consists of maybe an assault or verbal harassment where there wasn't an injury, but it was a lower level assault. We did a number of truck inspections in the area, big trucks driving through, tractor trailers. Had about 6 motor vehicle crashes up here. We had 1 incident of public drunkenness, and everything else, mostly just a couple of traffic stops, things where people wanted to speak to an officer and we would go to their house, but it wasn't a result of a crime or anything. So that was basically our involvement up here in the last 3 months or so. Any questions on those things? Anyone have questions on any of the other things going on up here?
You got any leads on some of the deaths that happened, on the ODs?
So before I came up, I thought that there could be some questions on that, and I talked to the lead investigator for that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot being done. One thing I'll explain, I can't speak on those individual cases because they're open cases, very active, and,
right.
and it's one of the things that he was actually working on today, and it's one of his biggest cases right now.
Okay.
But just in general, when there is a death investigation, one of the big things that we have to do is send away toxicology results and different things to different labs. And those seem to drag on. They take a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're watching on TV and you get these results in a day.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. Anything that's going to a lab is usually a state lab that's receiving maybe half or a third of the state's investigations of those sorts. So they take a long time. Interviewing people takes a while sometimes to interview everybody. So these things do seem to drag on, even from my perspective. You just want to go out and arrest somebody.
Right.
But those are very active cases, I can say
Okay.
that. So
Thank you.
sure. I hope I could answer enough. I wish I could say more.
Right, I understand.
Anybody else? Anything just police-wise in general? Anything you're unhappy with that you'd rather we do more of up here? Well, you guys, any concerns?
No, just the deaths and the drug situation and what we can do as a community to help and to would be.
I would say as a community, if there's things that you know or suspect, you can always call and tell us. You know, you can call and tell me, and put a face to the name now. It's Corporal Jelinski with the E-L-E-N-S-K-Y. You can call and talk to me about it. It doesn't mean we're gonna, say you say a guy down the street selling drugs. We're not gonna go knock on his door and say, hey, this guy said you're selling drugs. We don't do it that way. But being the state police and we cover a big part of the county, we're not in the neighborhood, so we don't see the traffic like a local department would as much because we're all over the place. So if you do see something and you want us to know, we may have no idea until someone calls and tells us. So that's always helpful, and we can certainly keep your names out of it. Anything else?
Then we have customers, you can have a seat.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm,
you wanna stay
I'm
around.
okay. I'm not able to say if
Okay.
you guys don't
Okay,
have
yeah.
anything else.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Yeah, we ran into problem on the way up here. I'm thankful to even make it because.
Yeah, yeah.
No, we appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. I'd like to open the floor to public comment. We'll just start here and go around the room.
Nothing.
Okay, yep. Do I have a time limit? I mean, 5 minutes.
Time limit.
I'm gonna need about 5 minutes, 10
Okay.
at the most.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm with the Highland Rec Association, on the board of directors, and I guess we need to ask for permission to hold our events for the year. So I have dates that I was gonna see if we can, a couple of these we've already advertised them, cause we didn't realize we had to do this until recently, so we have an Easter egg hunt on April 1st, it's a Saturday. And is that gonna be an issue?
Well, we would have to write up some agreements and we obviously can't do that here at the meeting, but we will have to write up some agreements and get together and all agree on it, and we need a certificate of your insurance covering you on the property.
Okay, so if we get
So-
insurance, then, I mean, cause
Then we
is
have
that
to-
the only issue, or?
Yeah, the insurance and just writing up an agreement, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna give you
That's
the
not an
other
issue.
4 dates, so you can write them down.
Okay.
April 1st is the Easter egg hunt for the kids. We wanna have it out here on like the ball field, playground area. April 22nd, we have, an Earth Day spring cleanup. And then we also have the kids are registering for a free tree from a program that we signed up for. And we were hoping to have, like, if it's decent weather, like a little cookout or picnic for 'em afterwards. So that's April 22nd. The annual car and motorcycle show this year will be scheduled for June 24th. Hopefully we can get a definite from you because she needs to she's already kind of started sending out papers.
I've already started. I've already talked to people.
Alright, October 21st is also a Saturday, we're looking to have our Halloween pumpkin, scarecrow event that day. And then the usual Christmas luminaries, I wanna say the week of December, of Christmas, but we'll just say December 24th to light those. And then that sort of just leads into my next question, I guess, is if we could address the letter that we received from you. Okay, I'm gonna read it real quick. Dear Marcia Buell, it has been brought to the Board of Supervisors' attention that the Highland Township Rec Association is not affiliated with Township of Highland, but is rather its own nonprofit entity. In order to avoid any liability, the Board of Supervisors respectfully requests that, I'm just gonna call it the Rec Association, remove all of its belongings from township property. Township property including items in the shed and items in the pavilion on township property. The Board of Supervisors requests that the items be removed within 60 days of receiving this letter. The township hopes to continue its working relationship with Highland Rec Association. The township insurance policy requires that if the Rec Association holds future events on township property, an agreement between the township and the Rec Association is required along with a rider from the Rec Association's own insurance company. It's been 14 years that we've been a 501c3, and you just now discovered that? It just came to your attention that,
It has just come to our attention that the Highland Township Recreation Association is their own entity and incorporation.
how did you not know that for the last 14 years? All the other supervisors knew it. Let me just add, the reason it moved from being a recreation committee with the township to an association that's a 501c3 was on the advice of the supervisors in 2008, so that the association could go out and fundraise and earn their own money to make the recreation what it is. So they did do that. So for 14 years, it's worked smoothly. So can you please explain to me what happened recently?
That was previous supervisors, and we've had a lot of complaints from the residents, about the transparency We've heard things from multiple businesses.
Okay, can you
And
explain
so-
further what you mean? What were the complaints?
The transparency,
What do you mean by that?
where's the money go, what's done for the township? What are things that are done for the township by the recreation?
Nobody's ever asked us that in the residents of, except you two. When you sent the letter of request, that isn't what we follow as a nonprofit, that's what you follow as a municipality. So, and if anybody ever had a question, they could always come to our meeting. You were invited to our last meeting, you didn't come. It was at Pepe's.
Right.
We always give you our
The
financials, do
organization
we
is
not?
not affiliated with the township.
Can I
so-
finish? Does Marcia not every month come to the meetings here and give you our financial statement?
Some months, and I do have to ask for the financial statements, but, yeah,
Is
some
there
months.
anything in there that's not to your satisfaction?
Why can't there be more transparency?
I don't, I'm sorry, but the word transparency coming from that side of the table is a little ironic right now. We have
We
no
haven't
problem.
hid anything, we have brought everything up at our meetings about the recreation, about the Highland Township Recreation Association and how we've been moving forward. We have spoke to our solicitor about everything.
That's,
We have been advised by our
Not what I was
solicitor on
referring to.
how to move forward.
okay, but I'm just trying to figure
So-
out, after 14 years of there being nothing but praise
It was
for
previous
everything that we do,
supervisors.
as volunteers, might I add you, none of us are paid one iota. The money that's in our fund was raised, footwork, mostly by this woman right here. Now, whether you like her or not shouldn't matter. Whether there's personal issues should not matter.
Has nothing to do with personal.
I figured you would say that, but the problem is,
That's everyone's go-to.
excuse me? I'm sorry?
I said that's everyone's go-to.
It's
No.
not
It's
personal.
personal, it's nothing personal.
When you tell
People want
somebody,
to see new,
when you
they
point
want change.
your finger at her and say you're gonna learn your lesson, that's personal.
When
Did you,
did I point my
are you
finger at
saying you
her?
didn't?
Yes.
Ever? You never pointed your finger at her for sticking up for her son during the water issue. The fact that her son, Robbie Fitzpatrick, why is he working at the sewage plant? That angered you for some reason, and she stuck up for him. That angered you again, and you put your finger in her face and said, you're gonna learn your lesson.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, we were standing right at the door. You
I
didn't do that.
asked her if
He
she was
wasn't there. She
threatening
wasn't
me.
at the meeting.
Right.
You say that a lot, don't you?
Yep.
Don't you? What a quinky dink.
Okay,
What a quinky dink.
okay,
It's
Scott,
not your public
Scott, if you're
comment
gonna be
term.
disruptive, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
they will give you a chance to
Trying
talk.
to be transparent,
I only
that's
have
all.
a few more minutes. Can we
Okay,
just
wait.
move,
Be
can we
transparent.
just move
Okay.
forward? I personally
Sorry,
believe,
Marcia.
I'm not gonna
Sorry,
argue
dear.
with you, but I do think that some of your decisions that you're making are a little bit personal. I think that Marcia rubs you the wrong way. That's just how it is. But she does a hard job. You gotta admit, she goes out and does the work needed as a volunteer. She will do anything for this
I can
community.
assure you it's nothing personal.
Well, let's get beyond that.
And with the sewage, I was asking the questions that I'm entitled to ask.
You were angry about it though when you asked them. You were very agitated that this man right here is on the payroll. Why is he on the payroll? Well, because he works there. What, is there a problem with that?
We
I
just
mean,
move forward, I'm not gonna sit here and listen to arguing.
Okay.
Move forward to the next thing, please.
Can you ask them to answer the questions?
It's
Okay,
public
it's
comment,
fine.
it's not questions and answers.
Okay.
I told you that was
Thank you.
fine.
Okay,
It is,
so we will get,
it is.
let's go back to, then you have our dates.
Yes,
If we get the insurance to cover our events,
yes.
there shouldn't be a problem with those dates.
Right, we have to come up with an agreement, Lloyd and I have to sit down and speak about it and come up with an agreement.
Okay.
That is what we are required to do.
Okay. Can you explain, why you tried to replace Marcia on the rec committee before you discovered
People
it
want
was?
to see new things. We have had multiple complaints about the things that Marcia has been doing. And
What?
it
What?
isn't just
I mean, if
since
they're
Lloyd and I
complaining-
have been a supervisor.
I get it, but what are the complaints? We were never told there were any complaints, so we could fix them.
Lloyd just said, what does she do with the money? Her reports.
Don't you see
What does she do for the township?
She buys equipment for the playground. The pavilion cost $16,000 to build. That came from our foundation. It didn't come from the township taxes. $16,000 to build that pavilion and put in that slab. So there's part of where the money goes. And we carry it, we do have our events for the kids. I mean, if there's something more the community wants, I wish they would get involved and come and tell us. We would do it.
That's the problem, they don't want to.
Why?
We can't speak for them.
But you are.
We had a lady that approached us and said she would like to be part of it. She would-
Allison Emer, who you,
Yes,
she came to you didn't recruit her.
yes, she came to us.
Okay. So she's your new rec committee president.
No, we have not set up an
We
ordinance
have
yet.
not set it up.
So now we have an ordinance. That was my
We're
next
going to
question, 'cause
set up an
I saw that
ordinance.
on the agenda, that there's gonna be an ordinance, okay.
Comment, Marcia, thank you for all the help that you have given to the community. I can speak for me personally. I thank you very much.
Thank you.
I know where the money goes.
Yep, everybody does.
Transparency is more than obvious. I thank you so much, Marcia.
Thank you.
Okay. My final thing is just to ask, why are there only 2 supervisors sitting here right now?
Because one resigned and Carrie and I cannot agree to appoint one.
Shouldn't it be, I'm under the understanding it should have been Matt Vaughn, because he, right? And Matt was willing to do it, and when you made the motion, Carrie, cause I have the minutes from the 14th of September, you made the motion, you refused to second it.
Yes.
So no motion was carried.
Why was there a vote? It shouldn't it have been automatic?
You have to do it in a vote. It has to be done in a
So
vote.
you would
If you
rather
read down further in the home rule charter, it says right in the home rule charter, if an appointment isn't made, it goes
I,
to the
I can't
next
hear you.
election.
Hold on, I can't hear what she's saying. Go ahead, please.
If, it says in the charter, if no appointment is made, then it goes on to the next election. Lloyd and I did not agree to make an appointment, so it goes on to the next election.
If any vacancy occurs in the commission, the remaining members must fill it by appointing a properly qualified voter to the position. It's pretty cut and dry.
That's not what our home rule says.
What year do you
Right
have?
there's the charter.
This is 2020. You're probably looking at 2013.
That's not what our home rule says.
This came right off the home rule charter website.
That's not our home rule. And under the advisement of our attorney and Mr. Wagner,
Who is Mr. Wagner?
He's St. Mary's solicitor,
Okay, cause
or the county solicitor, I'm sorry.
that's what I was told, that you were going under the advisement of our solicitor, who is, Tyler Hanna, correct?
yes,
But after that meeting, Tyler Hanna was questioned by a couple of residents to confirm whether or not that was how home rule was supposed to be done. And he did say, yes, Matt Vaughn should have been appointed. So what solicitor did you refer
It
to?
says right,
Why did you have to refer to a solicitor if it's cut and dry in homeroom charter?
because it's in our best interest to contact our
So
solicitor
you have-
on
Or
those
our
things.
best interest.
Well, do you have a problem with Mr. Vaughn?
the commissioners called me and we had a very long conversation, and Matt Quisenberry is the chairman of the commissioners, and said to me, I completely understand, why would you go against all the people that voted for you to take Matt out of position to reinstate him? You're going, he said to me, that's
Was it that,
you going against all the people that voted for you, basically.
no, I wouldn't look at it that way.
Okay.
Why, Carrie, why did you, make the motion to bring him back if you?
Cause I don't have a problem with Matt, and that's my
So
decision.
you're saying he does?
I think that, no, it's not a problem. I would appoint Matt. I didn't mind working with Matt. Lloyd did not want to appoint Matt. That was Lloyd's decision. I can't make that decision.
Okay, I called the Elk County Elections Office and they said that they were informed by you that Matt turned down the offer.
I never said that. I never ever said that. I never
That's
said
what
that.
I was told over the phone just this morning, and I was shocked.
I will call him in the morning,
Okay. Yeah,
cause I never said that.
okay. Because I had to actually call Matt myself and say, am I in Twilight Zone here? Did you or didn't you? He said, I even went and got sworn in. So I couldn't understand why the courthouse would be confused as to whether or not he wanted that position. But that's the
I
end of
will-
my, that's the end
I
of
will
my
definitely pull
questions,
that,
I guess.
And I will get the emails to have proof
Okay.
that that's what was said. Okay, anything else?
No, that's it for me.
Okay, any updates on the James Street Cafe property?
No,
that
We
had
have
pub-
not applied for, the grant to have it tore down yet.
Okay, so at the one meeting, Lloyd commented that someone reported you guys for burning behind there. And he stated from the cafe stuff and that you guys took it to the landfill and you paid for it with, scrap money. So why did you have materials to burn if you weren't tearing down the cafe that you said it would not cost the township any money to buy or tear down?
we said we were gonna buy it and it not cost the township money?
Yeah, it was at the meeting you said it wouldn't cost any money and that you were gonna get grants, all grants to tear it down.
Yeah.
So why did you look at me, actually thinking I knew who reported it, cause I didn't. I don't hide things, I'm not afraid of you, I would tell you if I did. And you said there was black smoke, they reported you, Carrie told Ross that it wasn't. And you said from the cafe, and then you said you took the stuff to the landfill. And you didn't pay it with township money, which the scrap money is township money. But how can you not be tearing it down if you said you took the stuff to the scrap?
We're not tearing it down, we have to have a demolition permit to tear it down, and it
Yes, I
has to
know
be
that.
inspected by the DEP
Mm-hmm,
and make sure there's no asbestos.
mm-hmm.
What we hauled out of there to the landfill was the walk-in cooler had excessive amount of alcohol in it, there was alcohol under the bar, there was a cooler full of beer. A lot of the stuff that was moldy, the food, some of the cooking utensils and appliances that were just left.
Shouldn't that have waited though till you got the grant money? I mean, what's the urgency? It's been sitting empty for a couple years as it is.
Well, the
Just
food's not
to clean
causing
it up.
rats for the residents.
Can I
and-
answer your question on that?
Yeah.
Cause number one, DEP's not gonna give you a permit with stuff in the building. Anytime you have a demolition for a building, you have to remove it, all appliances, windows, everything before anything can even be done.
Okay,
So
but
it has to
again-
come out of there, or it's not getting tore down.
Right, but they didn't get the money yet to do that. So why go in and do anything? She hasn't even applied for the grant yet. Correct?
It's our building, we can go in there and get rid of the garbage, the food, so it's not causing rats for
Are
the
you doing it as
residents.
volunteers or on paid tax time?
I get paid to be an employee for 8 hours a day.
Okay,
Your public comment was over, we're on Marcia's public comment.
there seems to be a lot of personal agendas being taken care of since two supervisors running the township for the last 6 months. You tried to badmouth the tax collector, which I stood up for, so you were upset with me, because it was personal conflict, not about her job, because she does it well. Trying to get rid of the fire department, I heard, and then you even talked, and I did hear you say you were going to try to charge the fire department rent, but then they responded, and now it's not an issue. You replaced the whole water authority, and why? They were doing a good job, and you hadn't touched them for 2016, kind of like how you haven't touched me since 2007. And then you're evicting the recreation, telling me to get all my stuff out when the shed was donated to me from the township. And I had the minutes in September 2014, I think. Oh, it's 2014. And we paid for the pavilion. And I have all the receipts and all the proof on that. And we only use it for fundraising. And the money we've had, I've done the treasury reports. Now every month I give it because we don't do anything. I don't have money coming in every month. And we buy playground equipment, we bought benches, the bike rack. We have shown you what we bought. We got the diggers from a donation. It took you quite a while of me begging to get it put in. It's not put in right. We have bought the grill. We have bought things like that. You have seen what we've done. So that's a lot of bull crap. I will not tolerate bull crap. You need to be honest and do your supervisor job. Now, it seems like you made your mission to get rid of anyone that challenges your decision or question your authority, which I've done a lot. And the thing is, I'm trying to do good for the community. I don't get paid for it. Nobody gets paid for it. And we are transparent because you do have our treasury report. You do see what we put out here. You do see the events. And you definitely knew I was my own entity because I have told you personally a long time ago. And I know that for a fact. Plus, you've made up my flyers and my donation letters. And it didn't say committee, it said association.
Why would the previous supervisors would appoint you then?
That was,
I mean, that was,
I know, and that's the same with thing. And it was the committee. Then they took it. We got it in the minutes where we were told we should get our own 501c3 because it'd be easier for us to fundraise. And I haven't really asked you guys for money, which actually there's supposed to be money put aside for the recreation, but my committee has raised the money. The only thing I've had is I've asked you to have a porta potty there, which you should have whether I was here or not. I have not asked for a donation from you.
is that all you got?
If you don't have any answers why things are happening like this, I've not done anything towards you. I haven't said things I could say, or done things I could. I'm trying to do good for the community, which is your job too.
Rob?
Yeah, I'm just curious why we don't have a Facebook page for the Highland Township so people can see, you know, like the minutes of the meetings, know when the meetings are at, what's going on, what you guys are doing, all that kind of stuff. A lot of other places have them. I'm just curious why.
I'm not,
I get 20 hours a week to do everything I have to do, and I don't have time to maintain a website or a Facebook page, nor am I an IT person. So that's
Okay.
why.
Thank you.
Greg? We're gonna go around the room, Jeff. Ma'am, do you have anything?
Oh, no. It would be nice if everybody said their name and even spelled it if you got a weird spelling. So, when you, Rob, what,
Robbie Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick. Thank you, that's it.
Sir?
I'm a little curious. You say they're not part of the township, but you seem to be very interested in everything they do. They are a separate entity.
Yes.
So what is the transparency? I'm confused. Because I belong to a couple different 501c3s, and they don't report their finances.
We were informed that by our attorney. After our organizational meeting at the first of the year, we got notified the next day that the Highland Township Recreation Association is its own entity. It's its own 501c3, and it's its own corporation. And under the advisement of our attorney, he told us that she did not have to give reports. We don't have to call on her during a meeting. We should have a contract for her for the
events.
No, I understand the
and
contract, I understand the
So-
insurance and all that.
So,
I'm just curious as to why they need to report.
He said that she did not have to. She does not have to.
Oh, okay.
I
As
just
the
did
president,
because it was
Marcia
right.
does not have to provide that information
Then I
to us, so,
misunderstood.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
So,
That's all.
yeah, it gets confusing. It's confusing for me too.
Oh, trust me, I talk to Tyler a lot. Being a councilman is very confusing.
Okay. Fred, you got anything? Danny? Misty? Darren? Tim? Bob? Justin? Got anything? You have anything? Scott?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just a comment to everyone in the room. These gentlemen that have been done wrong with the water authority, okay, it's a doggone travesty. I was involved in that road for a decade. These men donate hundreds and hundreds of hours so you folks can get clean drinking water at a cheap price. You wanna know what happens when shit like this goes on with supervisors? Ask the residents of Mount Jewett, they'll tell you. They'll tell you what's gonna happen. We're gonna pay triple for shit quality water because somebody wants to make a wave. Now just let me finish. This doesn't stop there. Okay? This goes the whole way down to you telling me I'm responsible for destroying a township street because you idiots can't hook up a French drain when you replace a ditch.
No, you're illegally parked
That
on the road.
sinkhole in the road is because you all can't hook up a French drain when you replace the ditch. I've got pictures to prove the whole thing. I knew this was coming when y'all dumped what? 2 water truck loads of water down that pipe 10 feet from the front of my house. Right?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You wanna talk about transparency, my friend? That's the pot calling the kettle black. And I don't care if you're talking about Miss Marcia or the folks that have dedicated, what, 3 decades to this township and clean drinking water? 4 decades. Hundreds, thousands of free hours. That for whatever reason, because somebody wants to pull your string, you want to cause waves. I come down here for one reason the other day. To apologize I got out of control to tell you my Jeep was moved. When you told me you were gonna throw me out of the building, what did I tell you? Put your fucking hands on me.
I don't believe that's what was said, and that's how
I
they.
know that's what was said.
Okay.
You should have kept your mouth shut at 7 a.m. when you pounded on my door. You fucked with the wrong one, my friend.
What's your last name, Scott?
Gatewood, Gatewood. Gatewood. Should have left me the fuck alone, my friend. You got no right. You know what 60 feet is? 3/4 of the house in this town are not legal at 60 feet, including yours. Don't feed me bullshit and tell me it's filet, because I'm not a fucking idiot. I have left myself out of this bullshit for a long time. You should have left me the fuck alone. You should have left me the fuck alone, you understand me?
You were illegally parked.
Listen to me. That is my property. Across the street is the landowner. If he had a complaint, motherfucker, he should have said something, not you, because you want to get your feathers ruffled. Yeah,
Has nothing to do with my.
yeah, it does.
Hey,
It
Scott,
does.
It was some of the complaints from the
I
residents that asked
don't
if
give a
that
rat's
was
ass
business.
legally. You had no right. You definitely didn't have no right telling me fuck you too at 7 a.m. in my driveway.
I did not tell you.
Yes, you did.
No, I
That's
didn't.
why I came back out the house. You started this shit. You started this shit.
I did.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't hear me correctly. I did not say that to you.
No, it's funny. That's the
I
same
said,
thing you
okay,
said then.
thank you.
That's just, fuck you very much. That's what you said.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, man. I come down here the other day to be a man, even though you were wrong the first time.
When you blow
You
your
were
door
wrong
off
the
the
first
hinges,
time, And I came down here to apologize and tell you my Jeep was moved. And you threatened to put your hands on me. You threatened to remove me. I'm your Huckleberry. I'm your Huckleberry, bitch.
You're the one that threatened me when you said you
Fuck
were going to
you.
murder me.
Fuck
you
you.
guys.
I never threatened you with bodily
Yes, you
harm
did.
whatsoever.
And I have the road.
Not there
I have the
or
road
there.
crew with me.
That is just
Stop.
fine. I never
Stop.
threatened
It's
to
not your
bodily
fight.
harm on you.
Apologize.
Knock it
You
off.
threatened to put
You
hands on
came
me.
in and said to
Stop
me,
it.
you started referring to me
I said
as a
this
pussy.
political bullshit is going to your head, and you jumped up and said, "Get the fuck out of my building." That's what you said.
Is that all you have for your comment?
There's my comment, bitch.
Thank you. Jackie, do you have anything? Jackie, do you have a comment?
There's something in your party going on in there.
Justin? Bill?
I don't, Leo's there. Not me this time.
Is this normal?
That's just public comment.
When people disagree with them, yeah, and people
Matt?
have to come.
Hey, do you think we got any chance this year we can bum Jones's street sweeper? Or when you guys go to sweep, can you just let a notice in the post office or something? So I know you're gonna do it again, so everybody can close their, and I know you're gonna do it when it rains, and you're trying to make
Yeah.
it fast. But it'd be nice to get Jones's machine, they've always been good to us.
Their machine has
Issues.
very extensive damage to it. It's just rotted out.
Yeah.
They rented one last year, and they come up the day after we did it, and they brought it up just friendly, you know, drove it around. Because I said to Carrie, I said, "There's a street sweeper that just went by," and
And it's too early for us.
so I wish we had the money, because there's a nice one on the government website. It's at $7,000, but
Well, even like next year, maybe, and it's something you could earmark.
That's Kane, they
maybe
drive
not
rigs
roughly,
around
but
a lot.
maybe you could talk to someone down there and you earmark it, that way
They do.
you guys try and do it at the same time, cause all it's gonna take you guys is a day.
I would really like to be able to do it just so we could reuse that material.
Well, it
That's-
makes way less money.
Yeah.
An
But
aggravation on you guys.
we did, I can't throw Darren under the bus, but I'm new to it too. We put a spinner spreader on the back of the Ford, and we've been trying to use that mainly around town. Because the heavier trucks are taking its toll on the weaker spots of the roads. This winter has been hell on all the roads. I got halfway down Old Lamont Road the other morning when it snowed, and I was thinking I thought I was gonna be stuck in the middle of the road. So I said to Darren, just follow me back to the shop. I'll ride out with you in case something happens to him, you know, for a tree across the road. But yeah, we're thinking about maybe doing chips next year in town, because it would make a better berm, and we can clean that up a lot easier than the sand.
Yeah, even if the residents, they pull it back, not kinda like what I do with plums and mine, I pull it back and I try and bed it on the burn. Even if you use the limestone chips are so damn expensive, that's the problem.
Yeah.
When you get into it, that's the problem with everything. We
Yeah.
don't have the money to do it.
Yeah.
But it's just,
We put them down a few times on Pennsylvania because it's hard to keep material because with all the traffic, and they seem to last a lot longer. We did that when it was so cold that the salt wasn't working. And it seemed like they stayed a lot better because the plow on the Ford's a lot lighter, so it must just ride over them, just roll under them. So that it stayed a lot better. But with this new spreader, it's hard to get it adjusted because sometimes the sand salt mix is wetter than others, and I mean, I drove up my street after it melted off, and I thought he just went up there with a backhoe and just laid a nice 2 inches layer of salt, but and sand. But so yeah, it's
just that, and the other thing I forgot to ask you about, so now that we're getting back into spring again, it's gonna be the same thing again, the drag race.
Fine.
I should have said something, but I forgot to say something. But it's,
Yeah.
the kids, I'm sure you're gonna be opening the park up in the next month, or whatever, but really, the residents need to be cognizant, because the kids will be out there in earnest again. And that's it.
yeah, there's a lot of them that fly.
Yeah, when you're here, you use it.
Kevin,
I saw posted on Facebook, the, schedule for the recreation committee for the year. Are they gonna stick with the same schedule with Allison running it? Are they gonna do the same events, or we don't have a car show anymore? We don't have the carving of the pumpkin?
No,
I mean, these are
Al-
all great traditions we've had in James City for a long time. And James City needs traditions.
Mhm.
We've had them, and it's been great. It's been a great turnout for everything, and the people in the community really enjoy it, or they can continue this.
Marcia and Recreation is their own entity. They're their own corporation.
Yeah?
Our attorney notified us and told us that she's her own business, basically.
Yeah, but she can't use it.
That,
She can't use the township property for it?
well, we can get agreement wrote up. That was another thing he suggested we do.
What do we do to continue this? I mean, it's been a big thing for James City that we haven't had in a long time. She decorates a tree in front of the pavilion every year. We have the carving of the pumpkin. They have the candle lighting for Christmas for the people that passed away, that are family members. And we go to the car show. And this has been going on for years and years now, and they've been a great success. I wanna know if the person is Allison gonna continue doing this, and if it wasn't broken, then why are we replacing it? It doesn't make any sense to me, because it's been a complete success. Completely.
Allison said that she would just like to hold off for a little while.
So we won't have the car
To-
show this year?
Oh, we're having a car show.
That's up to them.
Well, how do we do this with the town?
Yeah, if we don't have it here, we already have a backup plan, so.
We just need an agreement and their insurance.
So
They have to
everybody
have
that
insurance
uses
so
that
we can
field's
cover it.
gonna have to have an agreement?
Yes, we have to have
No,
an
I mean,
agreement.
is everybody that's gonna use your property, like
Or just the
practice for
association.
baseball
Any-
practice they do?
Anybody that
It's
is
gonna have
separate
it.
from the
Holding an
township.
event or a fundraiser. If you're holding an event or a fundraiser, we have to have a certificate of insurance covering your event or
What do you
fundraiser.
consider events, just asking? Like, examples, other than association events? Family reunion, birthday party?
No, those are not events. Anybody can
Oh.
use a pavilion. But if your organization
You
is
wanna
holding an
renew
event
this?
or a fundraiser,
Okay,
I contacted our insurance agent and he said, he sent me this letter. This is to explain that if a business or other entity is holding a fundraiser or other specified function on township property, they must provide a certificate of insurance naming the township as additional insured. The liability limits should be equal to or greater than the township coverage. So.
is there anything more to that?
He explained a couple scenarios, like if the association serves food and there is a food poison claim, the association's policy should respond. He just gave a couple examples. Another example is if the association sets chairs throughout the yard, set them up incorrectly, and someone falls, the association's insurance coverage, the lawsuit will be going to be directed it says the association set up the chairs incorrectly, but without insurance coverage, the lawsuit is going to be directed at the township.
Did they mention anything about anybody other than the association?
No,
No.
Oh,
No.
that was the main example.
it was just, yes,
Can
that's what,
Ask you this, I know I'm not real quick. In the 14 years that we have been in association, has there been one single claim against anything? Has there been an injury, a poisoning?
we have to do things
death.
legally and we have got to follow through with things
So no.
legally.
Okay.
Things have been done illegally for over the past years. I'm not throwing previous supervisors or saying anything about anybody, but things have been done illegally.
Do you think it?
I think it's
Marcia
just things
says
that
to
got
me,
overlooked.
when I told her she was her own corporation, she said, well, Jim Wolf knew. That's what
You
I got
knew.
out of her.
You knew.
I did not realize
Yes, you did.
that you were not affiliated with the township.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. And I said, as a supervisor, I feel completely stupid.
You knew 2
Because
years
when
ago
I
we asked
should
to have
have
her
known.
audited. 2 years ago you requested that she be audited, and the auditor told you you can't audit them, they're a separate entity.
Yeah,
2 years ago.
So come
And
back
it
with,
didn't click in here.
Oh.
It honestly
Well,
did not click in here.
all right.
That's what I said. I feel stupid.
Okay.
I really honestly feel stupid.
Okay.
And the people have been buffaloed for long enough
Okay.
about that.
I've
Because
lived there
the
my whole life
people-
and I've never knew that.
The people think that
Because it probably wasn't
they
worth knowing.
are,
But it's not, it really wasn't my job at the time.
So everybody probably thought the tax dollars were paying for all of this stuff, huh? And
well,
now
they
they're-
do. I mean, we pay.
Now they're finding out that it all came from fundraisers from volunteers. I can see why you would feel
Are you
stupid.
finished with
Yes,
this
I'm
other
done.
comment?
I am, I'm done.
Kevin, do you have
Yeah,
anything else?
Just a quick question. I don't know if your solicitor said that or not, but even if they are their own entity and they did get sued, they would also sue the township because the township, it is the township's grounds.
But we
So you're
have an
in-
agreement.
Whether
So
you
in that
have- but
agreement,
Whether you have an agreement or not, it is still in a place. That's almost like saying that I'm going to rent my property to have a fireworks show. The fireworks will let off and cause someone's house to burn down. I'm still cognizant to know that fireworks can cause the house to burn down. It's just an analogy.
well then, then if we'll speak with our solicitor about it, but if that's the case, then they won't be able to hold events there.
But if that's the case,
Then we
what
have
I'm
to set
getting
up
at,
our
why
own
would
rec.
the township try and, I'm not saying in this, I'm just saying to do something for the town, whether it's through whatever it is or not. Why wouldn't the township try and take that where they would have the money that they gathered be on their insurance, like fraud definition? And the grounds herself, because they still are the townships, and people wanna use it, it's a common place to use that, why wouldn't the township still try and do that in their ID insurance? Because in the end, what we're saying, if we really strip this down and talk about this is, we should rip the park down, rip everything down, and nobody should be allowed in township property, because sooner or later someone's gonna get sued, because something's gonna happen.
But our parks and that are covered. But a different organization holding an event is not covered on township property.
if you
I don't
sponsor
know.
us, we are. It says it in the
So we
second
would
class
have to
thing.
cover your organization on our township insurance policy?
It says in
You're
second
your own
class book, it
corporation.
says that
Not doing
you can
that.
sponsor. Well, I know, because I don't bow down. I don't bend the knee. I couldn't help that he said it to me.
You're just not affiliated with the township. That's,
And
you
you've
know,
known
that-
it
we
for
were
years.
advised of that.
And you knew it for years.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
You're a very good liar.
Is that all you got, Kevin?
Is Allison gonna be affiliated with township?
Yes, under the new ordinance, when we decide to, move forward with that.
So Marcia's gonna be replaced with Allison, so you will work with Allison but not Marcia, is that correct?
Allison would be part of the township as like the fire department. The fire department is part of the township.
Why don't you do that with Marcia?
The fire department can use the facilities that we have because they're under our insurance, because they,
We have to have our own insurance.
We have
for
our
that.
own insurance.
I understand that, but Ryan was explaining that to us today, because, you're still affiliated with the township, you're not your own corporation, you're not, you're the Highland Township Volunteer Fire Department, so you're still under us, so, yeah,
We carry a separate insurance
sure,
policy.
right,
That's
right,
even
Your event.
yeah. Is that all you got, Kevin?
There's nothing I can say, this is.
Thanks for putting my paper box back up.
You're welcome.
Did you guys take it down?
Yeah, one of us did, yeah.
I figured.
Along with all the other signs and things.
Monty, you got anything? Is that everybody?
I got three things quick. Well, one, I was approached by Kane Fire Department to ask the township if it would be willing to use the cafe as a cross-training event for both fire departments, be James City and Kane. Two, I haven't done yet, but I would like to sit down maybe with you, your solicitors, or whatsoever, and bring up an ordinance for the township in Highland, so that legally through the state of Pennsylvania, we can charge on vehicle accidents and we can charge insurance companies and get a little bit of benefit and money back.
Thought we did miss Misty, did we do something like that with the insurance a while back? A few years back?
No,
I'm sorry, I was busy.
It might be an ordinance for something, but through the state of Pennsylvania with
The
the
second
company that
billing.
I've been talking to, we have to
Second
have our
party
separate
billing.
ordinance, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something here.
We discussed it, but I don't think we ever set up an ordinance for that.
Yeah.
That way we can generate a little bit of funds back into the community here. And what we
Leo, are you serious about offering to burn that where the position
Yeah, we're
is?
kind of wondering. the
No,
same
not
thing.
burn, just rope rescue classes, firefighter survival.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interject like that. So
Yeah, yeah.
And I wanted to, yeah. But even that, even to do with that building, I mean, to do that and have the insurance on that, that thing's already damn fall down.
Yeah,
I mean, we'd have to look at it, you know what I mean? They just asked, and I said I would bring it up, yes, absolutely.
I did take a tour.
But if
of
it's
it, Leo.
obviously unsafe, then we can't. That's what it is.
This is here too. I did take a tour of it, Leo. I know what it's like. Misty has too. It is in bad shape in there.
Right. And the third thing is too, is, the department also discussed about the ladder truck. About getting it out, cleaning it up, maybe possibly selling it, maybe try to get something different for the department. That was kind of brought up, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we,
I think you
Yeah,
guys hold
we've-
the title.
Yeah.
we've
No,
talked
we
about it
do.
a little bit. That doesn't matter. The only thing that we would suggest is because it is, public property,
Yeah.
because it was purchased with tax money or so forth, that, what is it,
They
you
have
gotta,
to be
yeah,
advertised.
you gotta advertise
Right.
like 10 days in advance that you're gonna sell it, and then after
Right.
that 10 days, then you can, put it up for bid.
I got you.
And we do have an account with Municipal. It's for government agencies, for fire departments, sewer, water.
They should set up
all
their
that stuff.
own though.
Yeah, I mean,
To
yeah.
do that, they should set up their own.
I could show it to you guys. Anybody can set up an account. It's open to the public. There's a lot of nice stuff on there, a lot of decent stuff on there. So, if you guys set up an account and then you can take pictures and put on there, and it's listed through the whole United States. So, and it's, I've even Googled things and it's came up that it was on Municipal. You know, like when I was looking at road sweepers and stuff, it come up and said that this was on Municipal. And so it really reaches out and you really don't have to spend any, I don't think it costs anything to put anything on there. I know when we buy something, it depends, you know, we have to pay like 9%, I think it is, buyer's fee. But yeah, the stuff you get on there is insane. We got that salt spreader. I looked them up. They're $10,000 new, and we got it from a school district that used it for a year for. I hate to say something wrong because it's going to be brought back to me. Was that the $700 or? Okay, so it was right around $700 that we paid for that spreader, and it's like brand new. So, but yeah, I can show you the site and.
Yeah, cool.
And then when you guys want to get rid of something, you can just, you know, do your thing listed on there. And yeah, we talked about going through the upstairs, and they have nozzles, hose, all kinds of stuff that's on there from time to time. So, and I think it'd help you out, and then and probably get more out of auctioning it off than getting it for scrap. You know?
Right.
I do know at one time, we did give some of the township some hose and some of, the water authority, some of the hose that we don't even use.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, that almost skipped the whole line here. All right, so I want to close the floor to public comment, move on. Can I have a motion to approve the February meeting minutes, treasury report, and balance sheet?
I'll make a motion, we approve February meeting minutes, February treasurer report, and February balance sheet.
I'll second that motion. Correspondence, you got a notice from Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, liquid fuels payment of $91,762.16 was deposited on March 1st of 2023. Notice from First Energy for the warm program applications are by the back door for anybody that would like to get some of them. Notice from Sinclair for a new facility opened in Elk County for pregnant women and children under 5. What's that about?
I put information back there if anybody's interested, and there's a flyer hanging back there with numbers they can take.
We got a notice from Comcast for 2023 franchise fee payment in the amount of $2,678.07. Something I found out today, I guess we get paid for that. That's okay. We got permit application fees, or applications from Curtis Oil Incorporated and Howe Township. And they just have to notify us because we're the neighboring township to that they're gonna be doing some drilling or whatever they're gonna do. And, so I'm gonna move on to committee reports. Fire department?
Well, I kinda just already did that. But I also got a letter too from Seneca Resources that they have a hazardous containment center out here, so just beware. I don't know if you got the same thing at the township or not, but
I did not.
just to fill
Would that be
everything.
an injection well or?
Must be.
Alright,
I got something. Our annual, Seven Springs is coming up for, training. And like normal every year, $500 for the training for Seven Springs.
Okay.
Glad you're here, I forgot about that.
Can you send me an invoice, please?
You're gonna have to ask Missy, she's
Yeah.
a little bit picked off of me.
Well,
Keep my mouth shut.
It happens, Phil.
Yeah.
yeah,
Alright, I'll
especially
give
when
her,
you're married.
I'll email her
alright,
and have her send me one.
Okay, moving on to the road department. I really don't have much more to add to than, you know, when it snows we plow, when it's not we're trying to fix what's tore up, and there's a lot. Okay, under old business, under advisement, the Board of Supervisors would like to inform the residents that the Highland Township Recreation Association Incorporated is not affiliated with the Township of Highland. The HTRA is its own corporation. Moving on to new business, the Highland Township Cleanup Day is scheduled for May 20th, 2023 from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. 2 dumpsters at the Township Building and 1 at the Highland Hotel. We met with the Elk County Conservation in Western Pennsylvania Conservancy about replacing culvert pipe on Sackett Road down at 3 Mile. We met with our PennDOT rep, Darren Stover, on Wednesday the 1st, and we discussed about what we could do to fix up Pennsylvania Avenue and on the dead end section of Ohio Avenue. Blacktop or tear the road up or whatever we gotta do to fix that. And then last year, Carrie started this with PennDOT, and with quite a few volunteers, we developed it's called the Community Volunteers of Highland Township, and our signs are out on 66, and it's for litter pickup, and we'll be doing that on Route 66 and our township roads also on April 22nd, 2023. It'll start about at 8 o'clock in the morning, and if anybody else would like to volunteer, please just contact the township secretary. So we have to contact the state police 1 week in advance. We have to let PennDOT know 1 week in advance, and we would like to talk to the fire department for maybe traffic control, if that would be feasible to do a boot drive or something maybe that day.
Yeah. Slow it right down.
And be 6 miles.
right?
What's the date on that?
April
22nd.
22nd.
And of course, once we, if we could get some more information together,
Is it just coincidence that it happens to be on the same day we're doing our litter thing, or was that?
absolutely not. We started working on this Carrie started working on this last year,
It's,
and then
it is a coincidence then.
when we notified,
It's not a
That's the
coincidence?
day
No.
litter pickup is. You do it on Earth Day. We started this last year, and that was the whole plan, was to have all the volunteers and do a litter pickup and have a lunch afterwards.
So
So
it's a
that was the
coincidence
plan when we
that it just
adopted
happens to
it.
follow.
We adopted it last year though. Highland Township Recreation has never done this.
I'm
We
just
did this
saying-
last year.
I'm saying it was just a coincidence, and you're
For-
both arguing with me.
for
It's
us
just a
No, I'm
to,
not.
for us to do
What
this,
she did was kind of,
I actually didn't do it,
I
Mrs.
came up with that. I never even knew that you guys
it
did
was the
anything
same
like that.
exact thing that we planned on doing last year. Same exact
Can
thing.
I
It was very,
clarify
very,
something? I started it with a free tree program and noticed that other communities were incorporating a litter pickup. It totally started with a free tree program for the kids.
so, yeah, well, if you guys want it, whenever you can get together, hash it out and whatever
we
you
call it
come up
last
with,
year?
let us know
I don't
and we'll
recall.
move forward with
Yeah.
it. and-
Cause she asked me to help and I
What,
said,
plan on picking the worst road
the way
that
she
day or
said,
something?
I was busy.
Well, last year we had
You don't have.
roughly 25 to 30 residents, so there was some that didn't want to do the highway on 66. A handful of them just wanted to do down the Windy City Road. Some of them wanted to go out and do the other roads.
Wherever they
So in the meantime, well, all this was going through with PennDOT, because we had to get a number and some other things we had to fill out and give them a name so they could make up a sign, and then they put the sign up this year. So then that was on me and the rest of the road crew that on a rain day, that's what we got to do is drive around, pick up litter. But it was pretty bad, and a lot of the residents picked it up too down at Windy. And that's another thing I'd like to announce to everybody, that if you do pick up litter, just leave the bag and call the township and we'll come pick it up.
Was Sheila talking about that? She
Yes,
was in?
yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was doing that. Tom knew that. That was one of the things he forgot to tell me before he left us. God bless him.
She picks up what we call the milk bandit. Those old milk balls, one that little shortcut.
Yeah. I think she did quite a bit of Trussell Road also, because she called the township and Carrie said that she's got some bags out there to pick up, and we went out there and there was like I think there was 15 bags there. And then, tires and everything else, so, so. And a lot of the residents in town here that walk down Windy, they did the same thing, they picked up a lot and would set it there, call me, and we'd run down, pick it up, and put it in our dumpsters. And we talked to Habenberger, because Habenberger does not charge us for our dumpster, so we hate doing that, so he's like, no, if it's. Yeah, we even contacted him last year and he said, I'll provide all my guys and my trucks, but then PennDOT said, no, can't do that, we'll pick it up. So it's all learning, but yeah, but then again though, if somebody wants to get an early start on it and you have garbage bags, just call the township, let us know, and we'll come pick them up and get rid of it for you, so.
What time are you doing that on the 22nd, so I know to bring it up to me?
Be 8 a.m. Phyllis, if I can remember tomorrow, I'll come up and get that pine tree there alongside
Okay, I
the
was
road.
gonna ask about that, I didn't know if the township did that or.
Yeah, we'll get it for you. We wouldn't expect you to take care of that.
Yeah, there's some more trees around there that is gonna have to be cut down,
Yeah,
cause there's more.
okay. I thought maybe you might wanna complain about your taxes for a minute. We've gotten a lot of compliments about the taxes. Okay, I think that's about it. I need a motion to review the bills, make a motion to accept the bills as paid.
I'll make a motion, we review the bills,
I'll second that.
and I'll make a motion motion, we accept the bills as paid.
I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I will make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.